Well, good morning on this Easter weekend, whatever Easter means to us, and means different things to different people, and that's all okay. So, a very, very good morning to you from a nice, fresh morning here in Northern Ireland, and quite a lot of things to share today. I would like to first of all wish everyone a happy and peaceful, relaxing quality time over this weekend, holiday time, and of course whether it be Ishtar you are celebrating or indeed Easter, that's all okay. Good morning Liliana, good morning everyone who's joining. Thank you for your company, and thank you for your presence, because this is, as we've said on numerous times before, this is really like a get-together of kindred spirits and like minds, because we're all on this journey together, and we're all trying to find our way home, and we'll be sharing a little bit more about where home is, of course. We've on practically all previous videos we've talked about where home is, where the heart is. Okay, what I wish to do is just say, whilst other people are joining, and thank you very much for those who are continuing to join. Thank you for being here. Your presence and your essence is very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. As I said, this is a support group. This is a get-together of kindred spirits and like minds to assist ourselves and each other as we're going through rapidly changing times. Okay, yeah, before I start sharing some information of what has been downloaded or given to me to share recently, just want to say that if anyone is actually particularly interested in having one-to-one consultation, whereby we can have, if there's anything particularly on your mind or something that you may need a little assistance with, or indeed a friend or relative or someone that you know who is maybe stressed or under pressure, or indeed just feeling that they need a little bit of direction in life, I would be delighted to try to assist. And this is not, I am not a guru. I'll say this again. What I actually am is no more, no less than a driving instructor. It's like I am a driving instructor. We all have the guru within ourselves. It's just that it's been covered up with layers and layers of conditioning. And that's what we're going to be talking quite a lot about today, or sharing quite a lot about today. Layers and layers of conditioning that have suppressed or depressed or repressed this inner intuitive processes within ourselves that in actual fact is our own intuition, our own inner guidance. And we all have it. It's all actually within us. And interestingly enough, about 80% of the people who will listen to this and who are actually already online here are ladies. And the reason for that is that by and large, females are very much in touch with their inner selves and their intuition. In other words, their heart and their gut feelings. So we all have this within us. And you know, little boys and little girls, they all have this. They all actually have it within themselves, whether they're male or female. They all actually have it. We all have it as adults, but it's just been covered up. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how to, the title of this video will be Transcending Limiting Beliefs, or Transcending Limiting, Disempowering Beliefs, and how to rediscover, what to do to rediscover this essential essence of who we actually are, this truth that is within ourselves, that is way beyond beliefs, transcends beliefs, whatever the beliefs may be. We are acutely aware of who we actually are and indeed why we're here. We just need to remove the shackles, remove the ball and chain. And quite frankly, the ball and chain is here. It's in the head, actually the left brain. Okay. Yes, so transcending beliefs and returning back to the true essence, rediscovering the true essence of who we actually are, which is love and truth and inner peace and, of course, freedom. So that's what we're going to be sharing and talking about today. And I welcome everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to do these. And I want to be extremely grateful from the outset. You know, yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background because I think that's relevant today, pertinent and indeed to what we're going to be sharing. And what I'm going to be sharing, actually, I want to at the very outset, I want to say this is with utmost and complete respect for everyone's tradition, because please understand, I was brought up Christian, but neither Protestant or Catholic. In Ireland, where Ireland is a hotbed of religion and politics, especially Northern Ireland, where it's renowned for all the not so right reasons. If you want to read more about my background, you'll see it on my website, which is samueljennings.life. samueljennings.life. If anyone is interested in contacting me directly, they can send me an email to there, which is samueljennings.life@gmail.com, or visit my website and fill in a contact form. I want to say this as well before I get into more information. It is an honor and a privilege to live my life purpose. I have been very, very, what's the term I'm looking for? Honored that 20 years ago, at age 35, through attending the University of Hard Knocks called Life, to rediscover my life purpose, know who I am and know why I'm here. And what an honor and a privilege that is. So I see people are saying good evening, good morning, good evening, wherever you actually are in the world, and thank you for joining us from wherever in the world. Because this information transcends time and space. It is not relative to any one particular country. It is not relative to any one particular religion or one particular background. This transcends all backgrounds, all boundaries, all borders, all colours of skin, all people. This is what we're sharing here today, because we're all one. All right. Yeah, a little bit of who I am, what I do, for those who may not know me. I am a life and well-being coach. I am a relationship coach, and I am a spiritual coach. That's what I do. Now, firstly, and very, very quickly, let me just expand upon those three just for a second. Life and well-being coach and mentor is basically sharing and helping people rediscover the inner guidance within themselves that helps them direct their lives and direct the well-being of every area of their lives. That's what I share as a life and well-being coach. I sit in the passenger seat like your driving instructor, and the interested person who is ready, and I say ready, to take control of their vehicle going forward, their life going forward, the well-being of every aspect of their lives, spirit, heart, mind and body, every aspect of their lives. I sit with them and help them help themselves. That's what it is. That's what I do. Help them help themselves. I don't tell them what to do. That's not my role. I assist people in helping themselves because they have it within themselves. I just help them take away the layers of conditioning. So just very quickly, let me say, it's a bit like Michelangelo. He was congratulated about creating such a beautiful statue of David. And he said, I didn't create it. I just chipped away the pieces that were covering up the statue. That's what I do. That's what I help people do. I help you by giving you the tools to chip away the pieces that have covered up the true essence of who we are. So very quickly, relationship coach. Well, you know, our relationships are an extension of ourselves. So when we help ourselves and sort ourselves out, we sort out our relationships. Relationships at this particular time, whether it be family relationships, partner relationships, or professional relationships, they're all under extreme pressure. Why? Because they have to be. It's all part of the breakdown. It's breaking down of things that are relative to the head, and relative to past and future, and relative to emotional and mental mindsets, as opposed to the truth of who the individuals actually are. That's relationships. And spiritually, spiritual coach, spiritual mentor, and that's what I really want to share today. I'm really going to get into, if you don't mind, the meat of that, and give you a little bit of my background as to why it's been laid on my heart, on my consciousness, for many years of my life, to assist people in helping themselves. Okay, so before we start and get into that, it's just gone 11:11, and you know what 11:11 means. Those of you who are regulars here, you know the drill. It is essentially, I just noticed 11 people are watching this, so that's pretty poignant, isn't it? So 11:11. Okay, what we do is we have a mantra. It's called relax. I am within, and therein lies the key to anything and everything that I'm going to be sharing here. Relax the mind. I am within. So it's a mantra. It's like where we're completely awake, and with a breathing exercise with a mantra. Excuse me. Now, so what we do is we breathe in through our nose and we breathe out through our mouth, and we repeat the word relax. And then the next breath, repeating the word I am, and the next breath within. And that reminds us, literally reminds this thing here of the truth of who we are. And we can utilize this throughout the entire day with our eyes open, when we're driving, if we're stuck in a traffic jam or under pressure, under stress, to remind us that we are not this thing here. We are not our heads. We are not our ego. We are within. So let's do this together. Thank you. So in through the nose, in through the nose. Relax. 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 I am, I am, I am, I am. Within, 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 within. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me and sharing in that with me. Relax, I am within. So we should all now be feeling this serenity and calmness, a feeling of inspiration, connected to our heart and our intuition, our gut feelings and our heart. This is the truth of who we are here. And the head is no more and no less than like a hand or a foot. It's a tool for the direction from here to have our doing be an expression of our being. Okay, so the doing, an expression of our being. So our thinking is directed by our heart and our intuition. Okay, very simple little exercise, but incredibly, incredibly powerful. Okay, as I said, a little bit about my background. All right, I don't want to go into too much detail here because you can read it on my website, which once again is samueljennings.life. That's www.samueljennings.life. That's SAMUELJENNINGS.LIFE for Fred E. That's LIFE. samueljennings.life. Thank you to all the lovely messages from everybody actually watching. Thank you very much. Okay, we're all in this together. It's all for one and one for all. All right, a little bit about my background. The reason I'm going into this a little today, it is relevant and pertinent to what I'm going to share about beliefs and stuff that has been impacted upon us. So please bear with me for a moment, because this is, you can tie the two together. So before I go into this, I'm going to say, once again, complete and utter respect to all traditions, whatever background we actually are, whatever country we're actually in. What I'm going to share is meant to transcend all beliefs and all backgrounds. Okay. I was born in 1963 to parents, one from the south of Ireland and one from Northern Ireland. My father was born in 1913. And 1913 was before Ireland was separated, where the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland came about in 1921. But my father was born in 1913, and he was born at Church of Ireland. His father was Church of Ireland, but his mother had moved away from organised religion, and that's a pretty poignant thing here in Ireland, moving away from organised religion. So my father's mother in the early 1900s, if not prior to that, had removed herself from organised religion. In other words, she was no longer a Protestant or Catholic. That's quite a thing over 100 years ago in Ireland. Okay. My father then was brought up in a mixed community in County Cork. In County Cork, he went to an integrated school. Just think about what I said there, an integrated school. What does that mean here in Ireland? It means that where Protestants and Catholics go to school together. And the community in which he actually lived, and they were farmers. They all worked together. They helped each other plant, and they helped each other sow, and they helped each other reap, and they helped each other full stop. Protestants and Catholics working together in perfect harmony in the early 1900s. Yeah. So my father was brought up like that. He came to Monaghan in early 1950s and met my mum a few years after that, and she was from County Tyrone, as you know, is in Northern Ireland. But similarly speaking, very interestingly, my mother was born into a family where her parents had removed themselves from organised religion, which was Presbyterian, Protestant Presbyterian. So they had removed, both my parents had removed themselves from organised religion. Isn't that interesting? I mean, for those of you who are Irish, you'll understand the absolute significance of that. I mean, to have no religion in Ireland is like hen's teeth. Hens don't have teeth. It's unheard of. So, whenever I was born, although my parents actually were neither Protestant or Catholic, they were Christian. And what they endeavoured to actually do was live their lives as Christ lived, which was love thy neighbour as thyself. And they did that to the best of their ability. So the community that I was brought up in here is a mixture of Protestant and Catholic. Because I am neither Protestant or Catholic, never was. I am Irish, but I am also in Northern Ireland. I've had a British passport, but I'm Irish. I no longer have any affinity or any affiliation to any religion or to any political party. Because what I feel within my heart is very, very simple. What Christ said, my kingdom is not of this world. Where is the kingdom? The kingdom is within. You know, let's be extremely blunt and poignant about this. Irrespective of what colour we actually are, irrespective of what religion we actually are, irrespective of what tradition we actually are, if we're Muslim, whether we're Sunni or Shiite, or, you know, whether we're whatever. When we cut our finger, no matter what colour our skin is, what we cut our finger, it's the same colour. What does that mean? It means we're all the same. We're all one. Our bodies are the same. Our hearts are the same. Our souls are the same. Where's the difference then? The head. The head is where the differences are. But we're not born with differences. We're programmed with differences. We're programmed by differences. So the programming, is it by default or is it by design, huh? Was it by default or was it by design? Well, I'm going to ask a lot of questions today. And these are questions that I am reiterating that I was asking from I was a child. Okay. I'm not going to make any direct comments necessarily here today, but I am going to pose a lot of questions. Because these are questions that led me to my awakening 20 years ago, after many years of searching prior to that. So, let me continue. At age 7, I felt I had more in common with the family pets, with the dogs and the cats, than I did with my biological family. So something was already starting to happen. I should just say that, by the way, at age 7 weeks, I was carried to Christian meetings. And by the way, what do I mean by that? The faith that my parents actually had, neither Protestant or Catholic, they actually met in someone's home. They didn't have ministers or priests or rabbis. They didn't have anything like that. They met in someone's home, where everybody had a part. Everybody actually spoke. There wasn't just one minister, male or female. So I was introduced to that as early as 7 weeks. By the way, I was not baptized as an infant. Where did that come from anyway? Huh? Interesting. At age 14, I prayed for wisdom, that the wisdom that people that I read about or heard about for many years, could I have this wisdom, please? At age 14, I knew I didn't want to go into further education, because I already felt that after second level education, I'd had enough programming. At age 17, then I joined the service of the Bank of Ireland. At age 21, I left the service of the Bank of Ireland. I started reading personal growth and development books at age 18. Became my own boss at 21. I was a non-fulfilled human being, and off I went like the proverbial bat out of you-know-where. Self-employed. I was going to make $1 million by the time I was 22. I'm joking. I had my first burnout at 28, a major acute and nervous exhaustion. It was actually, back then it was called the yuppie flu. Now it's called ME, chronic fatigue, at age 28. Made a significant income in 89, 90, and then collapsed. Couldn't work for 2-3 years. So that's where my role as a life and well-being coach comes in. Got involved in another business then after a couple of years rest, and had another crash in the middle of 1990, sorry, in the middle of middle of 98, when I was 35. Why do I tell you this? Because for 35 years, I was endeavoring to remember and rediscover who I am and why I'm here. That's why I started reading personal growth and development books. And you know, words that I was listening to, please understand, my parents were Christian, and I mean fundamentalist Christian, but not Protestant and not Catholic. And I'm extremely grateful for that. Extremely grateful. So, I had questions, and the questions were along the lines of, I'm going to just fire out a couple here, but I'm going to go into a list of them here. These were questions that were on my mind for many years. If God is love, why does God have to have sacrifices? If God is omnipotent, why does God have to have sacrifices? If God is love, why the fear of God? Why fear God and keep His commandments? Huh? What is God? What is life? What is death? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Why is heaven out there whenever Christ said the kingdom of heaven is within? Why are the Christian traditions so caught up in politics and beliefs whenever Christ said the kingdom of heaven is within and my kingdom is not of this world? These were all questions that I actually had, and maybe you or someone that you know of has these questions as well. And that's where I come in and love to share tools of how people can actually uncover the layers, like I talked about the statue, uncover the pieces that were covering over the true essence of who we actually are, the programming, the beliefs. Yeah. So where are the beliefs that we were given? Coming from love? Coming from the heart? Or were they coming from fear? It's a good question, isn't it? So our beliefs of the head and the ego, fear-based, or do they come from the heart? Well, here's what I feel. It's what I feel. I said I feel. I believe the truth is within us. Within us all. The beliefs are stuff that were impacted upon us. It's like they were poured into the head, and over a period of time they actually impacted upon our truth of who we actually are and suppressed it. And any wonder it's just coming to mind here. If God is love, and God's name is I am, and I am is you, and I am is me, the I am in you is the same as the I am that is within me, and you and I are created in the image and likeness of the I am that is, i.e. love. So we are all the same within. Even our bodies are the same within. So we are all the same. The only difference is what we have been impacted by in the head. Hence the title of this video, which will fire up when I'm finished. Transcending, limiting, inhibiting, destructive, disempowering beliefs. Transcending, what does that mean? Transcending means getting above or getting beyond. We are going through, and I'm just going to touch on this now, we are going through an absolutely unprecedented time in the evolution of the human species. What do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you what I feel is going on. It's known as the Ascension process. Ascension is another kind of someone's kind of a romantic name, or what does that really mean? Well, I did a video actually a few weeks ago on what really is the Ascension process. I'm not going to get into too much of it today, but very, very, very quickly in a nutshell. We are shifting out of the head and returning back to the soul and the heart, the truth of who we actually are. In other words, folks, we're losing our minds. Let's get our head around that, literally. The head is losing its control over our being. The Ascension process is the spirit of humanity. The true essence of who we actually are is our rising. Hence the word ascension. Call it resurrection if you like. We are returning back to the image that we were created in, the likeness of and the image of, which is love and light and truth. Away from the head. Yes, Liliana said we're all forgotten gods. Thank you. Absolutely. We all forgot that we are created in the image and likeness of the Creator. We are co-creators. Whenever Christ actually said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the good shepherd, I am the resurrection and the life, I am the Alpha and the Omega, I am the good shepherd, I am the door, I am all those things. I'm going to ask a very pointed question here right now. Do you think he was speaking about Jesus is, or the I am within is? Feel the question and answer the question yourself. Did he mean Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, or the I am that is within, i.e. the Christ is the way, the truth, and the life? the resurrection? Please ask yourself that question. From the Christian tradition, of course. You know, all people, all colors, all ages, from the beginning of a thing called time, from the beginning of creation, every part of creation has the same essence. It's called life, created in the image and likeness of love and light. Love and light beings being love and light. So we forgot that. We forgot that's what we actually truly are. We are eternal. We are limitless. We are infinite. In other words, our soul, what I'm talking about is our soul. Our soul and our spirit is eternal, it's infinite, and we are not subjected to time or space. The mind is subjected to time or space. And that's what's ending. Many of us actually are finding that we're finding it difficult to think. We're finding it difficult to remember stuff. We're finding it difficult to actually plan for the future. Well, you know, sources trying to tell us something. What about the birds? Didn't Christ say, the sparrows neither sow nor reap, the lilies neither sow nor reap? Are you not more value than they are? What did he say then? Seek first the kingdom. Where's the kingdom? Within. And all these things will be added. In other words, live and trust. How does the rest of creation live, huh? Doesn't it all live in trust? In perfect harmony with everything else. The only part of creation that was in disharmony was human beings. And they were not being human. In actual fact, they were being less than, disconnected from their true essence. What we've actually been in the past is we have been, and this is why the whole thing's crashing, the whole thing's collapsing rapidly. People are breaking down. Why are they breaking down? Because they've been trying to live a life from the external. Exactly the same thing that happened to me. Total and utter chronic fatigue was breakdown. Nervous breakdown at 28. Then I needed another dose of it. Never recovered from it, truth be told, until age 35, and until I discovered, relax, I am within. Be still, and know that I am. That I am. God's name is I am that I am. So the I am that is in me is the same as the I am that is in you, which means that 7 billion souls on this planet are all exactly the same. No difference. None. Apart from the beliefs that were impacted upon us, largely without our choosing, should I say. Let me ask that question again. What is infant baptism about into the Protestant and Catholic traditions? Just ask ourselves that question. What's that about? And confirmation. What's that about? The sacrament of marriage. What's that about? Getting married in a church. What's that about? If two people love each other, trust each other and respect each other, where love, trust and respect, those three things, love, trust and respect, does anyone need to legitimize it? Or have it be endorsed by an institution or indeed state or government? Huh? Or is there another reason for that? Okay. Another thing just coming to mind. Easter time. Well, certain things come to mind about Easter for certain people and other things come to mind for other people. I'm a chocolate lover. Those of you who know me know. Anyway, chocolate and I must be my female side. Anyway, so Easter eggs are a celebration of what? Fertility in chocolate form. So the original celebration of Easter was Ishtar, I understand, and Ishtar was a celebration of the beginning of spring, where there was new life. Now I'm going to fire out a couple of questions here. And please do your own research. None of this I want you to take verbatim, word for word, for what I'm saying. I want people to do their own research. Ask the questions like I asked, if you wish. If you wish. Okay, here we go. What comes first? The chicken or the egg? The egg comes first or the chicken comes first? The chicken or the egg? Well, in my meditation this past week, the answer came to me very clearly. The life that is within the chicken was within the egg. The life that was within the mother hen was in the father hen, rooster. The same life. And the same life continues. It is not linear, given to time or space. Let me ask another one. What comes first? The raindrop or the ocean? What comes first? Huh? Feel that. What comes first? The raindrop or the ocean? Or the ocean or the raindrop? We understand how precipitation works. The rain falls, becomes a stream, becomes a river, flows back into the ocean, evaporates and becomes rain again. Are we getting the picture? It's called continuous, eternal life. Infinite and eternal life. No end. Alpha and Omega. Beginning or end. No such thing. The spirit and soul of who you and I are is timeless and limitless. That's the truth of who we are. The beliefs that we were actually given were to do with past and future mindset. So when we're in the past or the future, we're disconnected from the present, the presence. And that's exactly what's happening right now. The ascension process is removing the capacity of the mind that has held us, the true essence of who we actually are, in subjection, in depression, literally. We've been repressed, depressed, and suppressed by beliefs and by having our lives either personally, by choice, by decision I should say, or somebody else's decision, to have our lives be run by the mind, the ego mind. So those of us actually who are on the spiritual path, or have been for maybe a long time or more just very recently, we are all beginning to, or have worked out, that the truth of who we actually are was never our heads. That the head, in actual fact, was a major distraction. It was the liar. It was the false self, the lower self, false self. That the true essence of who we actually are is the real I am, the truth, the way, and the life. The light of the world. You are the light of the world. I am the light of the world, is what Christ said, and he said to his apostles, you are the light of the world. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, let me ask a question now. And this is where I come in with relationships. How can I love another until I love who I am? How can I love another and respect another and trust another and esteem another until I love, trust, respect and esteem my true self, who I am? So that's why relationships are all breaking down, because relationships have been of the mind. They've been done with past and future. It's all been conditional love, which is not love at all. It's conditional fear and control. So relationships are collapsing and will collapse en masse. That's a pretty strong statement, but we can see it all around us. The truth of who we are is in the process of being rediscovered. And we do it through meditation and through finding a mentor. Someone who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. Someone who's passed their own driving test. And someone who's now an instructor. To help people rediscover that they are their own gurus. Everyone listening to this and watching this in due course is their own guru. What do I mean by that? Gee, you are you. Yeah. When we remember who we are, we become our own gurus. We stop searching outside ourselves for anyone to bring meaning or fulfillment into our lives, because we have it inside here. Follow the heart. Listen to the gut. You've heard me comment numerous times, or it's maybe my buzz phrase, 24/7 CDP, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which means always, i.e. eternal and infinite, connected, directed and protected, 24/7 CDP. Okay. I'm going to fire out some questions here. Christmas Day, 25th of December. Could it be that it was really a remodeling of the 21st of December, which was the pagan festival of the winter solstice? Could it be? Easter. What is Easter? Well, let me ask you this. If the Christians believe, or it is a generally held belief, that Jesus was born on Christmas Day, i.e. the 25th of December, I have my own feelings about that, and you can ask yourself. I feel it was much too cold at that time of year for having sheep and shepherds on a hillside in that part of the world. Okay, so that was the birth of Jesus. The death of Jesus, right? The death of Jesus is on a thing called Good Friday. All right. Why is it a different day every year? It's a different date every year. Here's why. Because it's the first full moon after the spring equinox. Look, it's a full moon. The first full moon after the spring equinox. And that's when the pagans actually, all the people who worshipped, or in fact they didn't worship, I feel they were at one with nature, and they celebrated and gave thanks to Source for the arrival of springtime. Could it be that the Christians actually just said, tell you what, well, piggyback on that one, that seems like a great idea. Maybe. But it's a question that I was in my mind. Why is it? If Jesus was born on a particular day, but he died on a different day every year. Could never get my head around that. Never felt right until I found out that really Easter was a celebration of fertility, the arrival of springtime by all the ancient peoples of the world or of the earth, the indigenous people. And it was celebrated on the full moon, the first full moon after the spring solstice. Amazing. Check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. All right. Another thing that I couldn't actually understand. I understand from the Bible that it says that Jesus was 3 days in the tomb. Well, let's add it up. Apparently, he was supposed to have been crucified on a Friday. Died at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, apparently. But he rose on a Sunday. Well, let's add that up, huh? 1 day between the two. So, it was a day and a half. Where did the other 1.5 days go, huh? Interesting, isn't it? So, I'm firing out questions here, not to be disrespectful in any way, but I'm firing out questions perhaps to allow us to move forward, to transcend beliefs, to transcend limiting and disempowering beliefs that may be keeping us in subjection. You know, when Jesus came to the planet, let me just put this in perspective as well. His mother knew who he was. But the three wise men, if there were three, by the way, there may have been more than three. It says wise men. They brought three gifts, yes, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Where did they come from, huh? Did they come from the Jewish tradition? No, they came from the East. What guided them? A star, a light in the sky, apparently. Very interesting. Light in the sky guided them. Now, at age 12, here's another question. At age 12, it apparently, Jesus said to his parents and his family, "Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business?" In other words, that's old English for "wist ye not," meaning do you not realize? Do you not realize that I'm about my Father? Okay? So the Creator Father business, he was aware of that at age 12. Well, the next we hear of him was at age 30. Do we really think that he was making doors and floors and working in a carpenter's shop for the next 18 years? Or was he somewhere else? That's a good question that I asked myself. I could never ever actually get my head around that. Why do people believe when he knew at age 12 what his life purpose was? You know, when we know what our life purpose is, we've got to get on with it. As early as age 12, he knew that. But I believe he did get on with it. But he had to leave home shortly after age 12. My own feeling. Right. Now, a few more questions here. These may be very hard-hitting. They're not meant to be hard-hitting. But they've been laid on my heart to share, so I feel it's my right to share. Or I should share. So I mentioned a couple of them already. What is God? Well, God is love. Well, why should we have the fear of God if God is love? There is no fear of love. You know, when we are loved, there's no fear. When someone loves us, there's no fear. When we love somebody else, there's no fear. When we are in love, there is no fear. Fear is here. Fear is of the head. So Jesus came and he said the same thing to religious people, like the religious people of that particular day. He said some very straight things to them, actually. All right. Questions like, who am I? Why am I? What am I? Were on my mind. What is it all about? Have you ever asked yourself the question? Have we ever asked ourselves the question? What's life all about anyway? It's a great question. It's part of the awakening process, where we begin to transcend these beliefs that we're told what life is about. And it's certainly not about making money and all that stuff. Okay. Does hell exist? Does heaven exist? If heaven is within, why all the talk about dying to go to heaven? Huh? If heaven is here right now within you and I, why do we have to die to go to it? We don't. That's what I feel. Here it is right here, right now. Incarnation. Why is there such a thing? Is it possible that I chose my parents? Is it possible that I chose the country that I'm born in? Is it possible that I chose the family I was being brought up in? Is that possible? Is it possible that we choose our parents? Is it possible that we choose the country that we're living in? Is it possible that incarnation exists, that we keep coming back to planet Earth until we get it? Until we get what? Until we remember who we are. on what we are and why we're here. Is that possible? Could that be a reason why certain people actually feel they were here before, they met people that, I know you, but I've never met you in this life before? Is that maybe something to do with past life recognition, perhaps? Okay. Some more questions. Yeah. This is a pretty straight one. Yeah. Why is God male? Why in this religious world, not only within Christianity, but other traditions, that God is male? It's a good question, isn't it? If love is neither male nor female, love is. Isn't that right? Love is. Love is neither male nor female. So love is. So if love is, and God is love, why is God male? That's another question I could never get my head around until I discovered the truth within myself. That the I am is male and female, and neither male or female. I am is love and light. It's neither male nor female. It's an eternal being. Being. Being is neither wasing or will being. It is present, and it's neither male nor female. Being. Love is. That's it. Love is. Love and light is. So why is God male, huh? Considered male. Another question. Why was Eve in the Garden of Eden story blamed for eating the apple and causing the downfall of humanity, the fall from grace? Eve, well, my understanding from what I read, that they both male and female, Adam and Eve, both did it. But Eve got the blame for it. Wonder why that was, huh? There's another one. Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, I believe, was castigated as a lady of ill repute. I wonder why that was. Could it be maybe that the truth about Mary Magdalene actually is that she was Jesus' partner, that she was Jesus' right-hand woman? Maybe. What do you feel? Why is it that traditionally, until relatively recently, priests, clergy, rabbi, etc. have all been male? I wonder why that is. Not much space for women, huh? Well, I wonder why that is. Another question that was actually in my mind. But God is love. Neither male nor female. Both. But yet, God's messengers on the earth are male, predominantly, if not all, in all the traditions. Why is that? What's that about? Could it be that instead of the truth, which is, let us create man or mankind, that's another one interesting actually, man. I wonder how that was translated, why it was translated like that. Let's create humanity in our own image, which I feel is the image of love and light. Could it be that the various traditions or religions created God in their image? Could it be? To suit male domination, male dogma. Could that be? These were all questions in my mind until age 35. And in actual fact, let me just say this as well. I was continuing practicing, well, trying to practice Christianity. Those of you who know me was like round peg, square hole. Anyway, and that was from age 14, by the way. So at age 35, I discovered meditation. I discovered how to still my mind and rediscover the truth. So I was meditating every single day, mostly for at least half an hour, if not more. And until age 42. For 7 years, from age 35 to age 42, I was meditating every single day, and it took that length of time for me to actually break free from the Christian tradition that I was actually brought up in. And here's one for you. In my family, at that time, there were 4 ministers, one of whom was female, interestingly enough. 3 male ministers and 1 female. And here's Black Sheep, turns his back on the whole thing and walks away from his family and walks away from the religion of his parents. The Christian tradition. Walked away from it. And respelt the word, not Christian, but instead of being Christian, which was a nickname given to the early Christians, interestingly enough, the earlier followers of Christ in the Bible, in Acts. They were called Christians as a nickname. Jesus didn't come in to create Christians, did he? No, and anything, he came to abolish religion, full stop. The truth is within. So 7 years it took me to overcome the fear of walking away from everything that my parents and my family actually believed. Well, just be still and know that I am. So bend, if you don't mind my saying, bend the beliefs to follow the truth that is within. I am the way, the truth, and the life. You are the way, the truth, and the life. Do we need any beliefs whenever we know who we are? So this ascension process is all to actually detox emotional and mental debilitating stuff, emotional and mental debilitating beliefs and subjections and dogma and indoctrination, so that we can recover and rediscover the truth of who we are, that we are love and light beings, being love and light. There's another question that I'm going to ask. In actual fact, I've been deliberating, am I going to ask it or not? But you may recall the last video. I actually posed a question. Why is it that whenever Christians actually partake of Holy Communion, they say, "For I am not worthy," or they're told to say, "For I am not worthy. Speak the word only, and I shall be," whatever it is. "For I am not worthy." And I actually said, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, I said it's the ultimate blasphemy. Because the I am in you is worthy. The I am in me is worthy. That's like saying to the creator of the universe, "You are not worthy." You and I are co-creators, created in the image and likeness of the one that is. I am is. So when we are worthy, so if we are created in the image of likeness and love, that means we are love. And from love, self-love, the knowledge of the truth of who we are, which is love, comes self-esteem, self-respect, self-worth, self-confidence. I don't mean ego, I'm talking about inner self. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Because we are love. You are love. We are all love. So we esteem each other. We esteem ourselves. We respect each other. We respect ourselves. We love each other. We love ourselves. Because we are love. And we're worthy. Namaste is what it's all about. You are worthy and I am worthy. So, carrying that on, one more. Christ actually said on one occasion, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name." What's that? Did he mean Jesus? No, I feel he means I am. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst. I am. And that's what happens whenever kindred spirits and like minds that are watching and listening to this, when we get together, there is this synergy, there is this togetherness, there is this connection and bond that transcends time and space, because we're in touch with the truth of who we are, which is timeless and limitless beings. Pure connection. Okay. Here's the one that I want to ask. Is it necessary for sacrifice? I'm not saying that Jesus wasn't crucified. They wanted to put him away because he was speaking the truth. But I'm going to ask one more question here. It's pretty straight to the point. Is there such a thing as sin? Is there such a thing as a necessity for forgiveness of sin? Why is it a Christian held belief that the blood of Jesus Christ cleanses us from all sin? Let me ask you this straight question. This is something that was always in my mind. How is it possible for blood to clean anyone? Why is it necessary for any sacrifice, never mind Jesus being sacrificed, and for his blood to wash away our sin? First of all, is there sin, or is there not any sin? We just forgot who we were. Maybe that was the sin, huh? Maybe we're in the process of remembering that, getting rid of our sin. Did Christ have to die for that? Did Jesus have to die for that? One more question. Here it is. When the Christians partake of Holy Communion, and it goes through a thing called substantiation, I believe. Transubstantiation, which is, behold the body of Christ, the blood of Christ. And human beings of the congregation are drinking blood and eating flesh. Let me ask you, does that remind you of anything? Didn't cannibals do that? I understand that that's a satanic type ritual, drinking blood and eating human flesh. Now that's a real, I tell you something, that's incredible for me to say that. But I'm asking you, these are questions that were on my mind as a young man, as a boy. Why do people have to do that? Drink blood and eat flesh for forgiveness of sin. What is sin anyway? And why did there ever have to be sacrifice? Never mind the inverted commas Son of God being sacrificed for sin. What? If God is love, I mean, so I'm firing out these questions on this particular day, Easter time, this particular weekend. Please understand what Easter really was, or ask the questions within. Get beyond these beliefs. If at all possible, ask the questions. Not of me or anybody else, but if anybody wants direction, I'd be happy to assist. But the answers are within you. The answers are within me. All the answers are within. The truth is within. I am the way, the truth, and the life. You are the way, the truth, and the life. You are the way, the truth, and the life. It's within us all. The kingdom of heaven is within. Not in the beliefs or the traditions. It's within. So just ask the questions. All right. I want to thank you again for, this has been pretty straight stuff. You know, some of the books that I actually read were the Conversations with God series by Neale Donald Walsh. Highly, highly recommend them. When I started meditating at age 35, I was a voracious reader. I wanted more information. I wanted to transcend these disempowering, destructive, inhibiting beliefs that never sat right, that never felt right within me here. So Conversations with God 1, 2, and 3, there's I think 5 or 6 of them that I read. Superb. Where Neil Donald Walsh asked the questions like I asked the questions, and his hand started to write. It's like he asked the question and his hand started to write. That's exactly what happened. So please don't take my word for any of this. Please ask the questions. Listen to your intuition. Let's all follow our hearts. Listen to our gut feelings. Listen to the heart, follow the gut. We were searching for information. The books that come off the shelf, the courses that we went to, the people that we actually bumped into, they were all messengers to bring us to the truth of who we actually are, until we no longer needed to go anywhere apart from within. So all the books we ever read, all the courses we ever went to, all the seminars we ever went to, all the therapists, all wonderful stuff. But please understand that the healing of you and I is within. And I'm just going to finish in this. All the people who came to Jesus that said, what he said to them was, your faith has made you whole. Your faith has made you whole. That's what he said to them. You know, Jesus didn't heal them. They felt worthy to come to the source where the healing could be made available. And he said to them, your faith has made you whole. That's what he said to them all. He just had the wherewithal to show them how to heal themselves. And that's why on my website, you'll see it loud and clear. Healthy self, heal thyself. And that's it. Because we all have it within ourselves. We just need a little bit of direction, a little bit of guidance. And if anybody wishes to, I'd be delighted to assist. SamuelJennings.life. You can send me an email, SamuelJennings.life@gmail.com, or just visit the website. It's been an honor and a privilege here today. I know there's been some pretty hard-hitting stuff, but listen, I'm just sharing with you questions that were on my mind from when I was a kid. And I was age 35 when I started meditating and began to get answers like, be still and know that I am. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love the Lord thy God with thy heart, mind, soul, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. That's it. That's the truth. But how do we do it until we find out who we are? We've got to first of all rediscover ourselves. Get out of this. This is not who we are. We are here. Soul, heart, intuition. This is who we are. This is our inspiration. The beliefs suppressed the truth of who we actually are. The questions are questions to actually get beyond the beliefs, to rediscover the truth of who we truly are. Before I close on what I'm saying, what I've been sharing here today, this has been said with complete and utter respect. I'm just asking questions. Please understand, I was brought up Christian, not Protestant, not Catholic. I was brought up Christian. But there was another step. My grandparents stepped away from organized religion. My parents stepped away from organized religion. I was brought up in a mixed community, brought up in a country where people are loved. I was brought up in a family where we loved our neighbours literally as we loved and cared for ourselves. No differences. That's how I was brought up. That's what my parents were. And that's what I am. Isn't it very interesting? Maybe I chose my parents, huh? Maybe I chose the country where I'm born, huh? Maybe we all do. Maybe we all do. It's been an honour and a privilege. Have a beautiful weekend, whether you're celebrating Ishtar or whether you're celebrating Easter. Or you're not celebrating at all. Or you're celebrating every day. Because you know something? Every day is a day to celebrate the truth of who we are. Thank you. Namaste.